What's up guys, it's Rob, and today we're going to be looking at the Xtrfy M42. Before I get started, just wanted to let you all know I added this mouse to my mouse review sheet. Link to that is down in the description. I add every single mouse I review to that sheet. Also, a lot of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, so if you could please sub if you enjoy the video, I would really appreciate it. It helps a ton, and we're getting closer to hitting 10k subs on YouTube, so that would be awesome. So now, the Xtrfy M42 comes in 5 editions. This is the blue edition. There is a pink, white, black, and retro edition, and the cost of the mouse varies on which edition you get. So the black edition is the cheapest one, which is $60. The white, blue, and pink editions are all $65, and the retro edition is $70. So now, the weight of this mouse comes in at 61 grams on my scale, with the top shell on, of course. And without the top shell, the mouse weighs in at 56 grams. And it doesn't really matter which shell you have on the mouse, it still weighs the exact same with either shell. So like I mentioned before, this mouse does come with another shell, which is amazing because you have a different shape to mess with this mouse. The swaps are very easily interchangeable. You can just pull it from the back, just like that, lift it up, and then switch it out, put the front down first, and then it snaps with a small magnet that it has on the back end of the mouse. And the differences from each shell is that one of the shells makes the hump be more to the back of the mouse, while the other shell makes the hump more towards the middle of the mouse. The one towards the middle of the mouse is definitely much better for fingertip grip, and the shell that makes the hump towards the back end of the mouse is definitely a lot better for claw grip. I didn't face any issues with the top shell accidentally coming off or anything like that. It was perfectly in place the entire time I was using it. And for palming this mouse, I really wouldn't advise getting this mouse if you do palm, because at my hand size, I wasn't really able to palm comfortably. The mouse is kind of just too small, but the mouse is ideal for claw and fingertip grip. And another thing I'd also like to note is that this is a very skinny mouse, comparable to that of the Razer Viper Mini. It is pretty skinny at the grip here. So if you do have wider or bigger hands, I would just keep that in mind if you are wanting to buy this mouse. But like I said before, if you palm, I would definitely stay away from this mouse unless you have very small hands compared to mine. The mouse can also be used without the shell, and this is pretty comfortable as well with fingertip grip, and you do shed a little bit of weight. With claw, it isn't the best feeling here at the bottom of the mouse, but still it is pretty doable, and the only downside is that you do end up having to deal with looking at the mouse this way, which I don't think is a crazy big deal, but some people might not like it. But yeah, other than that, the shape was great for me, both shells, fingertip, and claw grip, and yeah, I definitely had fun with the shape, and it was great for my hand size. So yeah, my hand length comes in at 17.5 centimeters long, and the width of my hand is around 9.5 centimeters wide. The coating of the mouse feels very sleek. It almost feels slippery, but it really isn't slippery. I have very sweaty hands, and coating is a very big deal for me, and I had no issues with slipping of the mouse or anything like that when my hands got sweaty, so the coating was definitely great. Like I said before, the coating of the mouse is sleek, and it feels of very high quality. It doesn't build up gamer gunk all that easily either. For most mice that I review for about a week, which is what I did for this mouse, I normally have to clean the mouse at the end of the week because it gathers up gamer gunk here on mouse 1, mouse 2, and the back of the mouse as well as the sides. But I did not have to clean this mouse, surprisingly, and I definitely think it is because of the coating of the mouse, which is definitely a big plus obviously. And I would just note that on the sides of the mouse, you do have these holes, so if you are not the biggest fan of feeling the holes on the mouse, then I would just keep in mind that there are holes here where you grip the mouse. I honestly didn't have any issues with the holes on the sides of the mouse, but I don't have any issues with holes in the mouse in general, so just thought I would take note of that before you end up pulling the trigger on this mouse, because I know having holes on a mouse is definitely a big deal for some people. Now, the worst feature of this mouse is definitely the cable. This cable is extremely stiff. It is definitely one of, if not the worst, braided cable that I have tried on any mouse. It is very stiff, and it is also very thick. It almost didn't fit on my mouse bungee, and it doesn't feel heavy, but you definitely feel it dragging on the mouse pad. There is a stress relief here that tries to prevent that, but you still end up feeling the cable, unfortunately. And the cable is light, but like I said, because it is so stiff, you still end up feeling it. Obviously, you can just paracord the mouse, replace the cable, and you do get an extra set of mouse feet that come with the mouse, which is awesome. So I would definitely recommend doing that because of this cable. And like I said before, you do get an extra set of mouse feet. So the mouse feet offer some glide, but it isn't the best glide. They kind of feel flat, but they aren't flat, if that makes any sense. They definitely aren't the worst mouse feet I've used, but they just seem to offer average glide compared to most other mice that I have reviewed. But I didn't have any issues with scratchiness on the mousepad from the mouse feet, so that's definitely good. Yeah, they just seem like average mouse feet. Nothing special, but nothing bad either. Mouse 1 and mouse 2 feel really nice when pressing down on them. The click is very satisfying to press. My copy does have just a tad bit of pre-travel on both mouse 1 and mouse 2. And both mouse 1 and mouse 2 seem to require just a tad bit above average force to actuate. But this isn't really a big deal. I hardly noticed it, but definitely just something to note. Other than that, I had no side play on either of the side buttons. They feel great when clicking, and yeah, definitely solid mouse 1 and mouse 2. Side buttons also feel great when pressing them, have a nice click to them, and definitely a good size. Didn't have any issues with post or pre-travel on either of the side buttons. And yeah, the side buttons are definitely solid as well. This button right here actually isn't the DPI button. The DPI button is located right here, as well as a small slider to change the hertz or polling rate of the mouse. The button here that is normally used for changing the DPI is used for changing the lighting of the mouse, which is a pretty cool feature. And it's actually nice for those who don't want to download any software and want to be able to change the color or the pattern of the RGB that the mouse has. And now the scroll wheel feels great when scrolling down and scrolling up. It does have a lighting strip in the middle of the mouse, but you don't really feel it. It kind of just all feels like rubber. And this is definitely one of the quieter scroll wheels I have ever used. Even if I try to make it loud when scrolling up or down, it doesn't really sound like anything. And the actuation force when pressing down on middle mouse button seems to be average. It's not too hard, but it isn't too easy, so I didn't really accidentally press down on middle mouse button. And it also has a nice click to it when you press down on it, so it feels great. And I didn't have any issues with it either, so awesome. So the build quality of the mouse is actually incredible, especially for a mouse that has interchangeable shells. It doesn't really matter where I press down on the mouse. I get no flex anywhere. It is extremely solid. And it feels of very high quality as well. It also doesn't matter which shell I am pressing down on when doing the stress test. I still get no flex anywhere on the mouse. And even if I try to stress test the mouse from the sides without the shell, it's still extremely solid. The build quality of this mouse is actually amazing. So now, would I recommend this mouse? Yes, I definitely would. It's a very solid mouse that has two different shapes to offer, which is actually incredible. It's awesome that Xtrfy would implement something like this with their mouse and keep such high build quality on the mouse. The main issue I would say with this mouse is the cable, and that can easily be replaced. Of course, that does bring up the price of the mouse a bit, but I definitely recommend it. It would be an incredibly solid mouse after having paracorded it. And I would definitely stay away if you do palm grip your mice, because I definitely think this mouse was not intended to be palm gripped. But if you do palm grip and you've been looking for a mouse to maybe try claw or fingertipping a mouse, this is definitely the mouse to get, because you can try two different shapes with both of those grip styles. And who knows, you might end up changing your main grip style. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe or leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye!